let me catch you up to what I've been doing. I learned this from Kevin Grasley. You've seen him if you've watched any of Pinball Shenanigans YouTube channel. Does excellent work up there in Canada. And what he did was this ramp right here that's from Gilligan is really plain. And so this back corner, man, this thing really looks barren in the back corner over here for all the other stuff it has. So what he did was he took some old plastics, which I have since somebody gave me a new set of plastics with my Secret Santa. Thank you, Secret Santa. I'm taking the old plastics, and what we're doing is we're going to cut them up, and we're going to make these plastics fit along this edge here. He said that he tried to cover across, but the ball wouldn't roll. So I didn't actually try that, to be honest. I'll take his word for it. Kevin's a really smart guy. So I'm going to try to have it where maybe try to some areas where it might hang out over a little bit. And if I have to cut those back, I can. It's no big deal. I'm kind of prepared for that. So what I've got is I've got this piece here. And you can see I want to match this one up here. So I'm going to have to cut this one. Again, you can see that that's the angle I'm going to try to match. So I got to cut this piece to match that one. Or I guess I could cut this one to match that one. So I'm going to figure out which one's going to be what I'm going to be. Mainly because I just want to make sure this plastic stays about where it is. It's going to cover everything well. And I'm going to try to make it where these little leaves right here can kind of, these little leaves will cover this corner right here. So here's the heat gun I use right here. Get that out of the way. It cut through real well, except for it's easy to control, I guess. That's what I liked about it. I hold it almost like a pen and I can control it, which is nice. It does take a couple of passes because when you cut through the first time, the pieces melt, but then they try to remelt back. And so you have to kind of go through it a few times. But once it cuts through, it leaves those rough edges. But then I come over here and I can use this acrylic burr on this electric motor I have. And that acrylic burr will get it all really nice and refined and smooth. And then I can just take and flame heat the edges. And that's what I was doing there with the flames. So mind my messy office. I've done some teeth ready to go in. I got all kinds of good stuff around here. But you see I even got a little hep running while I'm on here. So anywho, this is what I'm up to. Trying to make this ramp look good, because once I get these pieces cut, you can see how dirty it is. I need to clean it up real good, and I've got to polish these little pieces and stuff like that. So I've got a lot of work to do still, but this is something that once I've got this part, then I can clean the ramp and I can epoxy these on here, and that ramp will be ready to go on. All right, it's the next day, and last night I already had that done before I left my office here. But last night I got this piece kind of fitted in, and then I got this one fitted in. But as I was trying to get this corner, which seems kind of difficult to me, and I just dropped that. Pick that up. Sorry, amateur business. There we go. I came across this piece and I thought, man, that looks pretty cool with the butterfly on it. So what I figured out is I could put this right here and kind of blend that in together. And then if I do, I can still use this piece kind of right here. Let's see, so I can back up here. I can use this piece kind of back here as I have it. And so, and mix all of that together, and it should all blend pretty well. So that's what I'm going to be working on here. I'm going to start cutting more of it up, and I'll show y'all as I get it cut. All right. So what I did was I took that the little heat cutter I have, and I cut that first, and then I used the acrylic burr to just kind of give me a rough edge. Now I'm kind of just going to see how these are going to fit. Part of I can zoom in on that a little bit. Part of that is that black line is that Sharpie. So I'm going to probably cut that, I'm going to alcohol that off so that we can actually have that gone. I can see how good those greens match up, but that's a pretty good match already. And again, this is going to be towards the back of the game. It's not like anybody's going to notice it that closely. But I just love having that butterfly on there. That's why I picked that and wanted to cut this piece and maybe even get a little bit of that flower in there, even though I think the plastic I'm going to put over that, the little bird I'm going to put there, probably will cover that, but we'll see. I'm excited to see how this turns out. I guess those are supposed to be bananas hanging down. I have some oranges. I mean, so hey, it's good looking solid. Anything goes, I suppose, right? So, all right. But let me go ahead and try to smooth that off. I'm gonna take that black line off there, and then we'll see how well I can get those fitting together. How if I can really get that edges cut really sharp and 90 degrees. Maybe I can get those things to really fit super snug together and blend right in. All right, well, read this correctly. There we go. Not bad. I could probably try to get that a little closer, but I think some of that's the clear on this that you're seeing, the clear edge on this piece right here. See, there's like a little clear edge. And I could trim that maybe, and I might try that just a hair. That's pretty close. Now I have my little butterfly showing like I wanted. And then I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna cut this piece off back here. Unfortunately, this stuff won't be seen probably unless I decide to not put the other piece. But then here, let me do this if I can. Come on, come on. Ultimately, this piece is gonna cut it right across there to fit. I don't know if I can slide this underneath without messing anything. I can't, that tape's there, but as you can see the indention here, you can see this is gonna cut and fit right here, so to speak, and it'll run across there. And then I may add this one more little piece there to catch that last bit. So anyway, so that's where I'm at now. Let's keep it going. All right. It's not bad. It's gonna look even better, I think, once you just kind of have it all together as one look. I've got that down, cut that. What I'm gonna do, once I epoxy all this on, because I'm gonna be careful, I don't want any epoxy getting on the clear that you can see because it'll show through. So we're gonna spend epoxy with little drops along the way here, and I think that should be enough to hold it along with the little screws. I may put a screw right in there just not only to hide the hole, but that'll just help hold that plastic down while the epoxy's working. And so, and then I'm gonna have a probably there's a screw here that'll hold. There's one gonna be right here that's gonna probably be a bird or a tree or something to try to hide just a little bit of this. Even though I kind of like that, but I need to hide this edge, so I'm gonna probably put something right in here to hide that. And so, as you go along, you know, these little edges that aren't lining up, I'm gonna take my acrylic burr when I'm finished, and I'm just gonna go along the edge, almost like if I was doing a router bit. And I'm just gonna cut this edge and make it all smooth with the ramp. The ramp is some pretty hard plastic. It's almost a little harder than this, and it's definitely thicker than this, I believe. Let's see, let's find out. See if I'm right. Yeah, it is thicker, just a little bit. And so I think when I follow that, it's gonna be easy to kind of trim this without really cutting the ramp much of any. Just kind of let the ramp be the guide. And I'll lightly trim that edge all the way down to the end here. As you can see, it's coming around nicely. All right, I've got this piece down, more or less. You can see that's pretty close. I can live with that because I'm gonna probably have a screw here anyway. And a little spacer, it's gonna have a piece of plastic. It's gonna sit somewhere right over this and probably hide all that anyway, at least to a degree. And I've got these two pieces laid out here because that's as far as it needs to go. So I'm gonna thin those out, make those work. And I think we're in business. All right, got the last one sized up. I mean, they're not perfect yet, but like I said, I've got to roll the ball, make sure it clears everything, and then I've got to clean the ramp up, get it all ready for bonding, and then I've got to actually bond these. And then we'll start right here where I originally started and just like bond that one, and then just slowly bond them along like I'm doing. That way I can still make adjustments as need to. But I do need to verify that the ball will pass through here because I don't want to actually do any epoxy work until I know for sure all that'll work. Of course, there's also a part of me that's like, well, epoxy it now, then you can maybe, if it's glued on, it's easier to just drill out the pieces you done that are in the way. But I don't know. I'm not sure about that idea just yet. Because part of it is I know epoxy should hold decently, but what if I epoxy it and then it pops loose when I'm drilling and it tears the art with it or something? So that kind of worries me. So I think I may not go that route. I may epoxy it at the end. You can see here, I'm rolling the ball to try to make sure that it can make it through so that the plastics that are hanging over the trough, like right here and right there, the little bird and all that, are not going to stop the ball from rolling. And how I did it was I didn't use epoxy, I used Velcro. That Velcro lifted all the plastics up about 1 millimeter or 2, and that gave the clearance I needed.